Today we're going to behind the scenes tour tutorial on how I do my stop motion, and we're starting right here and right now. Super Cooper Hobby. Alright, so as I said, we're going on a behind the scenes tour of how I make my stop motions. It's a bit of a tutorial too, and I'm going to show you how I make them. Now let's go over the 3 things that we're going to be going over today. Number 1, I'm going to be showing you the equipment I use to make my stop motions. All this is important because otherwise it wouldn't look nearly as good and wouldn't work. Number 2, I'm going to show you how I make the stop motions. I'm going to walk you through like a simple little Brickfilm, not much, and just show you the concept of stop motion and the app I use to make it. And 3, I'm going to show you the editing process. I'm going to show you how I edit my stop motion to where I get my sound effects. So now before we begin, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see the end product, all of this in the Brickfilms. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. Now let's get started. Without my equipment, none of these stop motions will turn out as good as they have. Now let's start with the lights. You can see I have light number 1 and light number 2. These are both very bright lights, and I'm going to turn them on and show you. 1 and 2. Now you can see the immediate effect that has on this. Now let's take a look again. Off. Off. Now it's dark. And on. And on. And it's very bright. Now that's like the essential of what the lights are. Because without them, my stop motion is set to be darker, as you might have seen in some of my first videos before I had these lights. Now these lights have also come with filters. Let me grab them, and then I can show you them. Alright. I have red filters, 2 of them. Each of these colors I have 2 of each. And then I have blue, and I have orange. Now I'm going to show you each of them, because they have all helped at some point. Now orange doesn't really make much of a difference, I don't think. But I'm going to show you anyway. One orange. And another one. So that sort of gives it a little bit of just a bit of a darker view, I guess, in a way, but not a whole lot. Now I'm going to show you the red ones. Now red gives it an entire red tint and feel, and you can see it. And if you want an example of how it looks in a Brickfilm, check out the Caterpillar Origin story. I used the red one, a red filter somewhere in there. Now you can see that gives it a really red filter thing. And then we have blue. It's hard to see right now because it's all red. But blue gives it a dark or a nighttime feel, you could say. But if you only had one color filter, the white one will kind of just overpower. And now we have blue, which isn't as easy to see from the overhead way, but it gives it a bit of a blue one. Now I'm going to put the regular lights back on and then turn them off. Alright, let's turn those off. We are going to move on to the next thing. I also have this remote trigger. This allows me to take the pictures without actually touching the iPad here, which makes it a lot smoother. I also have a tripod, which I cannot show you because I am using it, but that also makes everything a lot more stable. So between the tripod and this, everything is a lot more stable. I also use sticky tack. This holds basically everything down. If you look over here, you can see it holding the lights down. Sometimes I use it to hold the set down. I just use it to hold everything down because it makes things a lot easier to keep them in place. Otherwise, everything would slide around, or if I'm trying to hold a minifigure or something in place, it would not work. Now, I have a little more things. This isn't necessarily equipment, but I have this rack of minifigure heads. And this allows me, essentially, to make the expressions. I have some of the female ones up here, but there really isn't much of those, unfortunately. But I have all these just male expressions you can see. And a couple of them are double-sided, so I have a couple on the back too. But these are all how I make the expressions in minifigures and allow them to change expressions in that. And that's basically everything for the equipment I use. So now let's move on to the concept of stop motion. Okay guys, now we're going to go over the stop motion app and the concept of stop motion. This app is called Stop Motion Studio. It's a completely free app if you use the free version. There's also the pro version, which costs $5. I don't think the pro version's worth it. The stuff you get out of it is stuff you could easily get for free elsewhere. But that's my opinion. Your opinion might be different. You want to make stop motions like me, a good place to start is with Stop Motion Studio. Now I'm going to show you some of the features of this. Now you can add sound, which I take a picture for, so I'll show you later. I can just add images, which is all of the stuff here is really stuff you have to pay extra for. But there's easier ways to do it. Like I can add pictures in with myself with iMovie. So no, thank you. Playback speed, quality, filters, foreground, aspect ratio, fade, and FPS. This is the speed I play my things back at. This is gotta be like one of the most important things of stop motion because it makes a difference in how smooth the thing looks. I generally use 14 FPS, but you can use what works for you. Alright, we also have some of these right here. We have camera, and I can use front and rear. White balance, mode, focus, focus in, focus out, ISO, that's basically that. I can control how much, ooh, that's disgusting. Yeah. And zoom. Yep, I'm going to zoom in a little further. And then we will fix the focus for this. Alright. Now we can go through a couple more tools that I will need to start taking pictures for. So, here we have Chris. He is our example guy for today. He is on a skateboard in the house. Great idea, Chris. Hope you don't die. Now, we'll take a picture, and then we're going to move him a bit, and you will see that you see like a ghost of him moving. That's called the onion skin. That allows you to judge how far you're moving your guy compared to last pic. So you can see the ghost Chris, which is what we have right now, and then the solid Chris, which is what it was last time. So you can judge how much they've done. So we will do that. And we move them again, and we take another picture, and we do that again, and we basically just repeat this process over and over to create the concept and the illusion of moving. However, Chris made a poor decision in choosing to ride in the house. Now we're going to make this brick film a little funnier in showing how much of a poor decision Chris has made in riding in the house. First, we want to change his expression, because that will make everything more realistic. Chris is going to be like scared out of his mind as he... Yeah, Chris, you rode in the house with no helmet. Now you get to pay the price and you get to learn about skateboard safety. You can see him moving his hands as he's scared. He skids. And now we can put some of this sticky tack onto his wheels. That way we can move him backwards as he falls backwards even farther. Without the sticky tack, he would not be able. And he's kind of falling over on his own. But not before he thunks his head in the table. Poor guy. But that's what he gets for trying to ride in the house. Ooh, that's going to leave a bruise, buddy. And the skateboard flies out. And that's basically it. Now we can watch look and what happened. Chris rides over here, and yeah, very short. It's only like a second and a half long. He rides and he skids and he hits the chair, thonks his head, and falls off. Not a great idea, Chris. Don't ride your skateboard in the house. You shouldn't do that either. Wear your helmet and ride outdoors. Now, we are going to move on to the editing process. Alright guys, here we are in Imoive. As you can see, I have put the clip up here in the project timeline. I take it out of here, from down here in the event section, and I get it in there from importing it. Now, I can show you how I add my sound. I have a couple of different websites. First one is Sound Bible, which I can just basically search up whatever sound effect that I want to use. So let's say scream, because this guy probably wants to use a scream. And this one has weird stuff in it. Yeah, like that. So, but this website has had trouble recently, so I wouldn't recommend using it at the moment. We have BBC sound effects, which is very helpful, as I have found a lot here. This basically has all kinds of things. Now, all these websites are free. Yeah, this one has a lot of stuff on it, but there's not a lot actually on here you actually want to have. So, and then there's Ben Sound, which has royalty-free music, which is really helpful. Or, where's sound effects? If I go to Ben Sound. Oh, I guess Ben Sound doesn't have sound effects. My mistake, guys. I thought it did. Alright, well, it has really good stuff. And then there's music sound here, which has both royalty-free music and sound effects. Search up scream. Yeah. Alright, and that is what we really need for our thing. So we would take that, and then we would download it. And then we would go here and take it, and then we would just drag it into here. And then we play it. And it works out perfectly. Now we just play. Yeah, and this is basically how I make my things. I can drag other things into here, like my intro, which I would put here, and then we can have a transition in the middle, which is often what I use. I use spin in most of the time. And then if you play it, which I just realized I did this backwards. It should be spin out here and spin in here. But this is how it works. I just string everything together, add sound, and that's basically how I do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll probably be putting out a full iMovie 09 tutorial. Wait, iMovie 09? Am I old school? Dun dun dun. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, like I said, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this to see more content like this, the end product of this, and other things too. Be sure, and if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Bye for now, guys. Thanks.